All right. Well, listen. Do you or you want to grab that? Okay.
Yeah, I'm out of your room.
I'll help you down. There you go.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thanks, Dave.
All right. I hope you wake up in the morning every chance when you wake up in the morning that you excited about getting up. I'm looking at your faces like, nah. I mean, I hope today's message that you realize every day is a gift, that you could open up your eyes in the morning. And Connie knows me, my kids know me, sometimes they get so upset because in the morning I get so excited because I got a good night's sleep or whatever, because I don't. I only get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, if that. The things I get up in the morning, I'm so excited, and I am so thankful. I hope you feel that. So the message I'm going to be talking about is understanding the choice you make. All right, today you're going to make hundreds of choices today, hundreds. And I hope you make choices that make you smile, it makes you happy. But the biggest choice is the joy. And I want to talk about that having that joy in your life. And there's only one way you can get joy. All right, only one way. And before I start, I want you to listen to this song. This is one of my favorite songs. This probably is up there in maybe, I don't know, it's up there very high. I listen to it all the time. It gets me so fired up, all right? And I've been saying this for years, and this song just came out, all right? I've been saying this stuff for years. And sometimes, if you know me by now, like Dale's laughing, he knows, like, I'm always excited. I'm always excited about doing stuff. And this is not my forte, teaching. You know, I let Jeff do the teaching. All right, I'm more of an encourager. I'm more like a motivator. I want you to understand my faith. I want you to understand my faith in the Lord. I mean, that's the kind of person I want you. I mean, there's some people who are so gifted in teaching, and that's what Jeff is phenomenal doing. I mean, he knows his gift. So the thing is, before we even start, I want you to listen to this. If you might want to stand up, all right, I don't care if you want to dance or whatever, but listen to the words, sing along to these words, all right? And go ahead, you can start it. This is a great song. I mean, and Jeff, this is for you, Jeff, all right? This is for you, so you understand, all right?
Okay. I'm about to have a good day, no matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me, birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day, in every single way. The God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Baby in my arms, walking through the neighborhood, living in the present, I woulda, shoulda, or coulda. I remember back when I was low as a rug. Now I'm standing up, look at what my Father does, turning all things new, gray skies blue. Hear the church saying, won't he do it? I know he's got my back, that's why I'm singing that. I'm about to have a good day, no matter what they say. The sun is shining down on me, birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day, in every single way. The God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. It's a good day, no, it's great. Everything I prayed for didn't come in late. I got all I need and I didn't have to wait. Ask me if you love me, you didn't hesitate. Turning all things new, gray skies blue. Hear the church saying, won't he do it? I know he's got my back, that's why I'm singing that. I'm about to have a good day, no matter what they say. Sun is shining down on me, birds are singing praise. I'm about to have a good day, in every single way. God who made the universe knows me by my name, so it's a good day. Na, na,
Thank you. Hey, that's for you. That's for Jeff. That's for Jeff. It's going to be a good day. So funny. I've said, like, even in my texts, even the youth know, and some of my youth leaders are here, they know, like, I always just send a text, hey, the skies are blue, the birds are singing, it's going to be a great day, and Linda, she's even smiling. You probably get my text, huh? And I say that, and I hope you listen to that song just to get you going in the morning. If you don't, that should be your ringtone, or really your wake-up call, like wake you up in the morning. It's going to be a great day. The thing, it's a choice. It's a choice. And I hope you make those kind of choices. I got to tell you real fast, I see Dean back there. He's twirling his drumsticks. The sound man, he's twirling his drumsticks back there. But just to let you know how, I am, I get excited. Especially in the morning. My mornings are just so much fun. And the funny thing is, they let me drop down a few levels. They said, no, listen, you can't get this excited. But I do. And I got to tell you a quick story. My son, he was at a wedding on the other side of Harrisburg. He drove in right now this morning, 5 o'clock. He got up and yeah, he's here. Yeah, Connie doesn't even know. He came in. And I'm thinking, Luke, you heard me talk about this so much, and there's even like father-son retreats that we've done together, and so he knows my story, he knows what I'm going to be talking about and stuff like that. But you guys, one thing, he got a haircut. He had 2 hours before the wedding, so he's probably going to get mad at me sharing this. He had two hours before the wedding, right across the street where they were staying at an Airbnb, his friends. He goes over there, and they give the barbershop is all Puerto Ricans, and he could tell you. And you should see the haircut he got. He looks good. He does look good. But anyways, thanks, Luke, for coming. You never had to, but anyways, what I'm going to be talking about is a little bit about my story, because we all have stories, and your stories need to be heard. I'm serious. Everybody has a story, and your story needs to be heard. That's why I think church is so important, to get together to hear other people, what's going on, their stories. Because in the stories that we talk about, there's truth. And you say, how is that? Because we all experience certain things in our life, and it needs to be talked about. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in my story a little bit. And it's only 10 years of my life. And I could be up here for a long time to talking the stuff before and after, but it was only a 10-year period, just to let you understand, a little bit about my story. Now, you have to realize one thing is this. I mean, in the Bible, probably like, I don't know what percentage, 90, 95% of the Bible is stories. And in those stories, there's truth, because the experiences that the people went through. All right, think about that. So that's why your story needs to be told. All right, because there's truth, and we all need truth nowadays, don't we? Of what's going on in today's world. Like, you don't even know what to believe on social media. There's so much AI stuff and fake stuff, and the thing is this: the only way you know it's true, because you know that person experienced it, and you know it's true. All right, and so I'm gonna, and the funny thing is this: Jeff and Michelle, and even some of my friends says, "Listen, you need to tell your story." And I'm thinking some people here already know my story, but the thing is, because of my story is so different. You got to realize there's going to be ups and downs in your life. Ups and downs. That's life. And I'm going to talk about some of the downs and some of the ups. And I don't want you to miss this. All right? Because I want you to think about the things that you went through in life. All right? While you hear my story a little bit. And so the thing is, because I don't, I got to put this up here because that's something I need to talk about. Whoop, that's the wrong one. I got to find it in my pocket. No, not that. Hold it. I know. All right. All right. So the thing is, it's funny how timing is of everything. And I'll get into that a little bit later. And I grew up in the Pittsburgh area, about 20, well, from here it's probably about 10 miles south, a little town called Monongahela. I grew up on a farm. All right. My parents were tough. My dad was the toughest. I mean, great guy. It wasn't for him being so tough, I probably never got as far as I did in life, some of the stuff I do now. But he was tough. My dream was never to play football. All right. My dream was to get off the farm. All right. So my dad was so tough, he didn't allow me to play any sports until I was in 8th grade. So just to let you know. A lot of people think, you know, you're gifted because, oh, you did this and did that, whatever. But I didn't start playing ball until I was in 8th grade, and that's how I met Jeff. I wasn't much of a person, you know, growing up on a farm. My closest neighbor was a mile away, so the only friends I had was my 2 sisters. My one sister is 5 years younger than me, and my older sister was 2 years older, and so we were kind of close. But the thing is what happened was, on my 13th birthday, all right, my dad says, hey, I'll allow you to play one sport. And my birthday is coming up in another week, July 29th. And so I'm thinking, what sport's going on? All right. I just said, it's football. So I went out for football. All right. So I went out for football, and I sat on the bench 8th grade. I sat on the bench 9th grade. I sat on the bench 10th grade. I sat on the bench 11th grade. I mean, I got in a few plays here and there, but I wasn't a starter. All right. My senior year, I'm thinking, I got to start now. I'm a senior. Surely I got to start. I mean, and so anyways, I was a starter. I played outside linebacker and guard, you know, and I went to Elizabeth Ford High School. And all of a sudden, before the school year started, our school went on strike. It was probably one of the longest teacher strikes ever in Pennsylvania. We didn't go back until November. All right. Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, nothing was getting settled or whatever. But anyways, what happened was 3 guys crossed the picket line, all right, and said, hey, we're going to coach the football program. These 3 guys were phenomenal. And all 3 of them have passed away now. And I owe them everything, because if it wasn't for those 3 guys, they made sacrifices. And they were tough. The one guy coached Joe Montana, at Ringgold. And so anyways, he coached our team. He was the offensive line coach, and he was unbelievable. Every other word was a swear word, and he would spit in your face, and he says, you're no good, because that's why your parents, you know, that's why your parents brought you here. They don't want nothing to do with you. I mean, he was unbelievable. He was one of those kind of guys. So anyways, what happened was, we had a phenomenal season. All right, they coached the 9th grade, the JV team and the varsity team. Those 3 coaches. Just shows you what kind of coaches they were. They were phenomenal, tough, but they were great. One guy was really funny. It just kept things a little light. But anyways, what happened was, we had unbelievable athletes. We had one guy go to Maryland. We had one guy go to Louisville. We had a couple guys that got drafted in baseball. We were so talented. We led the WPIL in most touchdowns, the total yardage in football. I mean, we were killing people left and right. I mean, we were just unbelievable. So what happened was, it was the last game of the year. We were playing Ringgold. That was Joe Montana's team. All right. So what happened was, and you got to understand what I did. I would do my chores in the morning on the farm. I would go hunting and in the afternoon with my dog. Then in the evening, I would go to practice. What a life for a 17-year-old, huh? I mean, no school. I mean, some of the youth, like, no school, whatever. So what happened was, I did all my chores that morning. It was a Wednesday. The sun was shining, blue skies, a beautiful day. All right, and the leaves were starting to turn, and I got my chores done. I took my dog, and we went hunting, and it was small game hunting, and we used shotguns. And that's what this is, a shotgun bullet right here. That's what a shotgun looks like. It's for close range. all right? It's for close range. It could do damage to anybody, to any animal at close range. It's unbelievable what it could do, the power of that bullet right there. It's not good for long distance. It's not like for a rifle. So anyways, what happened was I was probably about the way the crow flies, a good maybe mile and a half from my parents' farm. But the way to get back to my parents' farm is about 2 miles. And my kids know where it's at. They ride the quads down there and stuff like that. And so what happened was I was on this pipeline, and the pipeline came down real steep, and there was like a plateau and another big ravine, all right? And so I walked down this pipeline with my dog, and there was another hunter in the woods. And, you know, if you know about hunting, you usually keep away from other hunters. But this guy kept on getting closer and closer and closer, and all of a sudden, I stopped right at the bottom of the plateau right here, and we start talking. Real nice guy, all right? I mean, we talked for probably 5-10 minutes. It seemed like a real nice guy. And all of a sudden, I said, hey, listen, I remember I looked at my watch. I remember every detail of this day. It's just unbelievable that I could tell you everything. I'm trying to, because of time, I don't have the time, but the details are just unbelievable. It's so vivid in my mind, and this has happened over 40-some years ago. All right, like 47 years ago. And I'm thinking, and just talking about it, I'm thinking about where I was at and everything. I could exactly show you how I was standing and everything. I could, every moment, every detail. And all of a sudden, I remember I looked at my watch and I said, listen, I got to get. And as soon as I turned around, I walked to the edge of that real big ravine. And it was probably about a 15-foot ravine. I got about halfway down. And it was like from here, just say, it was probably about not even 10 yards, like from here to Marty. It was like only 10 yards away. And I heard a shot go off. And the guy shot me. I fell down in the ravine. When I fell down in the ravine, he thought he killed me. All right? So what happened was from where he was standing, he couldn't see me because he was back here. So he had to walk over to the edge of the ravine and look down. And from back there, so it gave me enough time. I remember I got back up, and I remember I could just, it's so vivid in my mind. I remember I took my gun and I took the safety off. I'm looking up to where it was shot. My ears were ringing. I mean, I just felt like disoriented. I remember I took it off, and I remember I couldn't even hold my gun. My whole body was just shaking. I was starting to. I don't know, I couldn't even, I remember I just couldn't hold it. I'm trying to hold it, I'm looking up. I didn't see the guy yet. And the very first thing, I went with my hand to see, this is my very first thought, if I have an ear. I didn't think I had an ear. And because the next thought was, if I go to school with one ear, everybody's gonna laugh at me. I'm serious. I'm telling you. I'm gonna say everybody's gonna laugh at me because I have one ear. So I went up to grab my head like this, my left side right here, and my hand stopped. It almost felt like it already started swelling up so fast. But it was my ear and everything was all tore up, and I went to grab my, just grab my ear to see. Oh, I think I have an ear. And it's so funny. I just found this out that when President Trump was speaking at R&D thing. Convention, and he said, from the doctor says, of all the body parts, your ear bleeds the most. I never knew that. And so anyways, I went to touch, and all of a sudden when I brought it down, my whole hand was covered with blood and hair. My hair was just like coming out. The bullet came in the back right here and just blew the whole side of this side right here. I can't hear good out of this ear right now. And just even running equipment all my life, so my hearing is not the best in this ear. Just blew the whole side of my face right here. And all of a sudden, this guy starts coming to the edge of the ravine. The top of the ravine. And all of a sudden, he was shocked to see me standing. He was shocked. And and I'm looking at the time. I don't have much time. The thoughts that went through my head was unbelievable. I didn't know where to shoot this guy. All right, and I'm 17 years old. I never shot anybody in my life. I mean, I've been on a farm. We kill animals. We kill cows, chickens, sheep. But never a person. And what happened was he was shocked to see me standing. He goes, very first words he said, he goes, "I'm sorry, it was an accident." And a good thing he said that, because that threw me off, because I was ready to squeeze. I remember I was squeezing the trigger already, and I'm glad I didn't. And what happened was and again, because of time, I was thinking where to shoot him in the legs. Now that's no good, because he's going to be in a hospital with me, and he's going to come out. He could come after me in the hospital. I'm just telling you how your mind thinks. So your mind is so powerful in milliseconds. Then I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to shoot him in the heart and kill him. Then all of a sudden he might have some brothers or something. His dad might come after me and come after my family. And I'll shoot in the head. You won't believe. I mean, at 17, I have to make that kind of decision, that kind of choice. So anyways, because he said, "I'm sorry, it was an accident," that was enough to throw me with some doubt, because I was gonna shoot him. I was threatened. I said, "What are the chances of that barrel, of all the places that barrel could be? Like, I don't know what it could be, and this is 360 all the way around. Is it 1 in a million? The barrel was that big. The barrel was as big as this bullet. And how can that be?" So anyways, that threw me off enough to say, I said, "Get out of here." I said, "Get out of here. You better start running." He ran back up over that pipeline, and he was running towards where I had to go, to my parents' house. And I'm thinking, so I got up out of that. My dog was with me. Dogs are so neat. We had dogs all our life, and my dog was so neat. He was stood by next to me. And I remember I got up out of the ditch, and I just saw blood just pouring out of me. I mean, it just, I was just covered, soaking wet in blood. And I learned this in school, and I just looked this up because I wasn't sure if it was a true fact or not, like how much blood a human body has. And I just found out it's anywhere from 4 to 6.3 quarts of blood you have in your body. All right, and I was taught 5.5 quarts. So I was the average back then, and now they said it's like 4 to 6.3. So my teacher was right. All right, my teacher was right. So I'm thinking. I remember I got down like this because I was so dizzy, and my gun was right here, and I was like bending down like this. And I was in like a fetal position, curled up, and I start praying. And you got to understand, at the time, I went to church, but I didn't know God. I went to a Russian Orthodox church, so half of it was in English, the other half was in Russian. So I didn't get nothing out of it. I mean, you talk about stained glass windows. They had murals on the sides of the thing. They had a big picture of Jesus on a cross up there on the roof. I mean, all the candles and everything. It was sort of like Catholic or Russian Orthodox. It's like Catholic, but in Russian. So anyways, I didn't know him, but I start praying. I would say, "Oh God, please." All right, I didn't know. I said, "Please don't let me die." I was so scared because I'm watching my blood. I'm watching my blood on the ground, and I'm trying to count. Okay, is that 1 cup? Is that 1 pint? You know, I know it's crazy. I mean, as 17 years old, I didn't know any better. And all of a sudden, it's amazing what happens is, and Connie says you need to share this bit because sometimes people don't believe in miracles or stuff that happens to people. And through my lifetime, I heard a lot of miracles, and some are even better than mine. How God works, and the power of prayer, and just all of you praying for Jeff, unbelievable. You know, and you don't think prayer helps? It's unbelievable. A lot of times people pray and they think, "Well, God didn't answer my prayers." That's not true. That is not true. Because the thing is, you got to understand something. If you understand how powerful God is, you don't think He knows you. He created you. He knows what you're thinking. He knows what you're going through. He knows everything about you. He knows every little detail about you. Everything. And the thing is this, I started praying to him and saying, God, please don't let me die. Because I knew my heart was going to stop. After a while, I'm thinking, I'm just going to be here. And they're not even going to find me. Like, it's going to be probably days before they find me. All right? And to this day, they know, like, I get up early in the morning. I'm up around 4:35 every morning. Do I have to be? No. I just enjoy it. I love mornings. I get up, and I have a chance to just be with God in the morning. That's my time with God. I mean, a lot of people have it through the day and stuff like that, but there's so many distractions. You know, sometimes I get, talk to him in the car and this and that, but my time is with him in the morning. And I hope maybe you want to do something like that, have a chance just to take it, like even 5-10 minutes. And my first part of my prayer, and I go downstairs, we have a bedroom downstairs, down the lower part, and I go down there and I pray. I go on my knees, all right? And the thing is, my first part of my prayer is like 10-15 minutes of just thanking him for everything. So should I mean, he knows me. He knows my needs. He knows what I'm going through. He knows my struggles. He knows everything. All right? And I'm not even telling you the stuff that happened before this and the stuff even that happened after this in my life. I'm just talking about, this time period in my life. He met my need. Now, every day, I say my prayers, and I thank him because he touched me in a way that I don't even know how to explain, but he touched. I felt his shoulder. I mean, he touched my right shoulder right here. He touched me, and because there's no way I could go home because that guy went in that direction. That guy that shot me, and so what happened was my aunt's house is probably like a third of a mile up the hill. And there's all these crab trees and area. I mean, it was so thick. I remember every part of that day except this. I don't remember even getting them off the ground. I don't even remember from when I left that spot, I was up at my aunt's house. And if you look, I mean, everybody knows, like my family knows, where it's just almost, there's no way you could even get up through it. It was so thick and steep. Even in my best shape, I could never get up that hill. And the thing is, I felt like, the only thing I can explain is he got me up there. And people say, oh, that was just your adrenaline. I don't remember nothing. I remember when I got to the top of the hill, I remember I took my shirt off. It was so, blood was just coming out of me. I took it off and I tried to put it over my head to go to my aunt's house. I go, Aunt Betty, I've been shot. Can you call my mom? Because back then they never had the 911 service. They never had ambulance service. And so anyways, my aunt couldn't drive me. She never had a license. So, I says, call my mom. I said, by the way, do you have any aspirin? So she was like so excited. And she opened up the bottle of aspirin, and she couldn't even, it went all over the table. So while she was calling my mom, I was grabbing the aspirin off the table, and I was just taking it like crazy because I couldn't stand the pain, the burning, and the throat. I just couldn't stand, I mean, I was in so much pain. I remember I just kept on taking this like that, and I remember, I know exactly where I was sitting. I could tell you everything. I remember then my mom came, took me to the hospital, and Mon Valley Hospital, and what happened was they couldn't operate on me right away, all right? And the reason is because I took all that aspirin. I didn't know. So anyways, I had to wait. I was in so much pain. I was screaming in an emergency room for like 14, 15 hours, and finally they operated. They operated on, here's the BBs right here. I have them in a medicine thing, but you know how medicine things are dark, so you couldn't see them. So I put them in this today. There's 97 BBs they took out of my head. I had 80-some stitches. They stitched my ear up. They stitched this all up. And I still have 22 BBs left in my head. All right? You could feel them. All right? So just to let you know how crazy, you feel that they're all in my head. When I go to the dentist, they take a shot of your teeth. You can see all these like bumps and everything. I should have brought my x-rays in. You'd be shocked to see, you're looking at my skull and you see all these little black dots all around my head. And they always keep apologizing because I go to the doctors every year for the NFL. But here, you could pass this around and you can see how big they are. And so if you spill them, you have to pick them up off the ground. I mean, I think that's like, they call it, like if anybody knows about shotguns, they call it 6-shot. There's 6-shot, 7.5, 5-shot, 4-shot, and depending on what you're shooting, what kind of game you're shooting. But anyways, so I'm gonna try. I'm running out of time right now. So here's the thing. From there, I stayed in a hospital Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. My team won. We beat Ringgold. First time ever in the EF history we went to the playoffs in football, and they came in and gave me the game ball, and I remember every detail. I could even tell you. That is amazing, the details. 40-some years later, but what happened was one father stayed back, and he said something to me. He goes, "God saved you," and almost like I wanted to say, how do you know? I questioned him, like, how do you know? He goes, "It's a miracle you're here. You know, God saved you," and I almost said, "Yeah, you're right." He goes, "Let me pray for you," and he stood there by my bed and he prayed for me, and to me, that was the start of my chance to find more about God, you know, who this God is. And so the thing is, I got home Sunday evening. I stayed in the hospital for like 5 days, from Wednesday to Sunday. And my coach calls me up and he says, "Pete, listen, we want you to come tomorrow just for pictures. Just come for pictures." Because all the press was coming. All the local papers and everybody, press was coming. And what happened was, I said, "Sure, I'd come." I'm all bandaged up. You could see, like, you see Trump with his ear? I was like, from here, they had, like, I looked like I had a turban on, whatever. But anyways, so what happened was, I was in the pictures and everything, and after the pictures, my coach comes up to me and goes, "You want to play Saturday, don't you?" I go, "Oh, Coach, I would love to play." He goes, "I tell you what, if you could get released, a doctor's release, I'll allow you to play Saturday." And remember I told you at the beginning, we all make choices, and I'm thinking, I want to play. And my mom and dad honored that. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I have kids. I would never do that to you're not playing, you know, because here's the thing, you talk about the Trump, like how it was like with millimeter, same here. It was another like half-inch over right here, because you got to understand, when the shotgun goes off, the pattern is all BBs. It's real tight. As it gets further out, it spreads open, so you get less BBs. And so from a close range, the pattern is right here. It's just so close. It just tore me up. And so what happened was, I would go to practice, and my mom would take me to our general practitioner, and he says, "Get out of my office." He says, "There's no way I'm going to allow you to play." Then next day I went to practice, and what happened was went to my mom made a appointment to another doctor and said, "No way, get out of here." That was Thursday, Friday. She made 2 appointments, and nothing. So what happened was the last day, my mom, after practice, she takes me way out in the country, past Sutersville, way out in the country. We go to this guy's house. We go in his basement, and what happened was he sits me down in a chair and he starts pulling on all my stitches, because I still had all my stitches. He's like this and pulling, and I'm like trying to like be a tough guy, like no, I'm just like ground. It's hurting me like crazy. And finally, he gets out this little pink piece of paper. He says, "I think you could play." He writes down his name on there, and he cleared me. And we get in the car. I said, "Mom, where'd you find this guy?" You know what? He was our veterinarian. You know? Can you imagine doing that? Can you imagine the loss? No, it's a true story. He was our veterinarian. Yeah, he was our veterinarian. And I'm thinking, I would never do that with my kids. I would never, ever do that. I mean, what are they thinking, you know? But anyways, understand, that was a choice. But you got that game I played. We lost that game. We played Butler. And the only reason, we should have beat them, but we had the wrong shoes on. We played at Mount Lebanon Stadium. We had the wrong shoes on. We were slipping and sliding like crazy. We couldn't do nothing with them. But what happened was that game got me a scholarship to Connecticut. I mean, I wasn't even planning on going to college. All right, and so I really wasn't. And all of a sudden, the choices you make, and it was an unbelievable choice because I met my wife, and we've been married 38 years, and the best choice I ever made in my life. The one thing that I love about Connecticut, you know, my wife Connie came from there. And, I mean, it's a great school. I mean, I know they're winning basketball games left and right, whatever, championships. But anyways, you know, then all of a sudden, real fast, I'm speeding up here in this time frame, the ups and downs. And then I started 3 years out of the 4 years at Connecticut, at defensive end, outside linebacker, one position. So what happened was I go to the head coach, I said, Coach, I think I could, you know, I want to give it a shot in the NFL. And he looks at me and goes, come on, Pete. He goes, really? He says, I know you're a good player or whatever, but you have to be great. And he says, listen, it's a cutthroat business. You'll get hurt. Don't even worry about it. I walked out of his office in tears. And I said, okay, who is he to decide what I can or cannot do? And again, choices. I start working out every day early in the morning. Get up early, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Nobody gets up that early on campus. Some of the younger people here, they go to college. Nobody gets up that early. Now I was working out. So the draft came around. First day draft, I didn't get drafted. Second day, I did not get drafted. Third day, sorry, right after draft, it was like that night. It was like almost it was like 11 o'clock at night. The Steelers called me at my dorm, and I wasn't even there. I was at the library. I know you believe that, huh? What's wrong? You don't think? See, my wife knows I was at the library. Connecticut was probably the top 20 in the business school. I was in business, and it was hard. And so, anyways, what happened was I was at the library, and when I go back to my room, everybody said, "Oh, the Steelers called it." I thought they were joking because they knew I was from Pittsburgh. There was only like 2 or 3 of us that came from Pittsburgh. I said, "No," and so I called back, and it was the Steelers. So I go to down here, and I had a great tryout. They allowed me to go to camp. First week in camp, I'm playing defensive end, outside linebacker, what Watt does for the Steelers. Then the veterans come in that Saturday. So the first week, it's all young players and the first and second year players. So that Saturday, the veterans come in, and what happened was they call me, they knock on our door, and I was rooming with the #1 draft choice that year, Gabe Rivera. I don't know if you remember him. He passed away. He was in a car accident from the waist down. He was paralyzed. Phenomenal. He would have been the next Joe Green. He was an unbelievable guy. Great guy. He was from Texas. And so I knew if they knocked on our door, it wasn't for him, for a first rounder. So anyways, what happened was they said, Pete, bring your playbook. I got my playbook, and I'm thinking, man, I'm going to be the first one in camp to get cut. See, in life there's ups and downs. And I remember going in front of this, I went into this room, and there was this big desk, and there was probably about 10, 12 people behind these desks. And I hand my playbook in, and they says, listen, Pete, you're not going to make the team at linebacker. I couldn't even talk. My heart was just pounding like crazy. And so what happened was, they said, we'll give you 2 choices. We could waive you and get picked up by another team. I said, oh, wow. It'd be nice to stay in my hometown. And I said, what's the other choice? They say, play a different position. So I thought they might move me back to middle linebacker. That's where Lambert was. They said, offensive tackle. And you got to understand something. All right, I'm thinking, I never played offense in my life. I did a little bit in high school. I said, all right. So they gave me the playbook. I had to study it. We go in full pads that afternoon. And I crammed for some of the plays. They stick me in towards the end of the practice. And they never put first team against first team. So the first team defense was up. And I'm in there. I wasn't even playing tackle, which I started playing tackle. They put me at guard. So you got to know every position on the line. They put me at guard, and all of a sudden, the guy that was standing right in front of me about a couple yards behind was Jack Lambert. Probably the toughest guy I ever played in the NFL. Meanest, toughest guy, unbelievable. And I said, I got to block this guy. And I remember he started to, the play went to my right, and I was on the backside. He starts flying towards the ball. I mean, he just knew. He was so good at reading plays. So I was a little bit behind him. So make a long story short, what happened was I kind of blocked him bad, and I kind of rolled up on him, and so he couldn't make the play. I fell on him. And all of a sudden, I'm trying to get up, and all of a sudden he jumps me, and he starts hitting me. He goes, "You no good, Rook. I got your number. You're out of here." And he's like, they hit me. I remember I'm on the ground like this. And I'm looking at him. He has no teeth, and he's swearing at me. And I'm thinking, man, you're my hero. You're my, like, you know, I'm thinking, I wish I had an autograph right now, a pen and a piece of paper. I'm serious. I'm thinking that. You know how your mind thinks so quick? And I'm thinking, and all thing, I better start swinging. I start swinging, and he got more upset at me. He got, I don't want to use the words, but I mean, he got so mad at me. But I mean, we started going at it. It felt like it lasted 10 minutes, but probably only lasted like 15, 20 seconds, whatever. But I made the team. I played 5 years with the Steelers. I played with guys that were all pro, the guys that were Hall of Famers, like Bradshaw. Our senior year, Mike Webster, all right, came to our high school banquet. He spoke at our high school banquet. I would never thought 4 years later I would be playing with the guy. He was my roommate. I roomed with him 3 out of the 5 years with him. I mean, so, and you got to understand something. I mean, because I just ran out of time. The ups and downs in life. All right, I told you some ups and I told you some downs. I mean, you won't believe these ups and downs in life. You're going to have them. That's part of life. If everything was so rosy and smooth and just like that, what kind of story are you going to have? What kind of story? What kind of story would be in the Bible? If you look at some of these people, you look at some of the people in the Bible, like, oh my gosh. I mean, sometimes I'm thinking they're idiots. You know, some of them. You know, some are so stupid. But guess what? God used them. God used them. So think about your story. You know, part of life is you're going to have ups and downs. And you got to realize something. That's life. All right? And the worst day of my life, you got to realize, this guy, well, just to let you know about a lot of people ask me afterwards, what happened to this guy? Well, a week later, he stabs a guy in a bar. All right? That kind of guy he is. I didn't realize this guy just got out of jail. This guy just got out of jail. And the reason he was in jail, he burned down a bunch of houses. He burned down about a half a dozen houses. They caught him. And I think they were afraid of him, this guy. But the thing is, if it wasn't for that moment in time, and you wonder, sometimes you question, why God? You know, a lot of times you ask that question, why is this happening? Why? You know, it could be finances. It could be your health. It could be, you know, one of your kids. It could be, you know, at your job. Or so, you know, why is this happening? Why? And I always say this to people, even to the youth. I says, that is the wrong question to ask God. Why? All right? I think the question you should ask God, you know, okay, and I just close my eyes. Okay, what are you trying to show me? You know, what are you trying to show me here? What? Not why, what? And I said this before, what? You know, because we're all going to go through situations. You know, I see Tracy, I mean, I pray for you every day. I mean, and you don't want nothing like that to happen to a person, you know. And my thing is this, and like right now, Tim Baker, man, I had my parents, but they both passed away. I know that time, you know, and we're all going to go through the tough times, those downs, and you could stay in those downs. You could stay in those downs, all right. But the thing is, you're going to miss the blessing. In those downs, you could find the blessing in those downs. You have no idea. Like this is probably about 4 or 5 weeks ago, we had a work day. I hurt my knee. And the people know me, I'm a workaholic. I work. And it was hard for me to work around the church that day. And it was a blessing in disguise because people were coming to me and asking me, okay, what should I do next? What should I do next? So I couldn't even delegate. I couldn't manage what was going on if I was always out working all the time. And because my knee, and it's still not right, you know. I mean, if you only knew the stuff that Connie and me and our family goes through, that's part of life. You think you think it's the nice and man, oh gosh, everybody has situations, problems. They're going through some turmoil. They're going through some challenges in life. Man, that's okay. That's what makes your story so unique and so true, is because of the experience that you're going through in life. And the thing is, if you're always on the ups, you're going to miss the opportunity of the trials. Like right now, like I think of the bad things. Like I remember my first game in the NFL. It was a Hall of Fame game against the New Orleans Saints, and I blew up my knee. And I'm thinking, that's it, I'm done. I was so discouraged. It was a blessing in disguise. Best thing that ever happened to me. And I was so down. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to cut me as soon as I get better. No, it was a blessing in disguise when I hurt my knee. First game, it was a Hall of Fame game. They're going to play it next week. And the thing is, I remember the guys in the locker room, the veterans, they said, hey, good job, you made a team. I'm thinking, what do you mean? They put me on IR. It gave me a chance to get bigger because I was at linebacker weight, and I learned a position. I had to learn how to play offense. And it was a blessing in disguise. And through your times, I hope you find little things you can hold on to and realize, hey man, it's okay. And sometimes you don't see it right away. It's okay. At the time, I remember my dad was so tough on me. Now I look back, best thing he ever did to me, being so tough on me. I wouldn't be up here today talking. I never would have had a chance to meet my wife. I never would have had a chance to play football if my dad wasn't tough on me. And sometimes my buddies were having fun going to the mall, going to the movies, out by the pool, and I'm thinking, I missed out on that. No. So the thing is this, and I'm going to wrap up right now. I went over time. Part of life, you're going to have your ups and downs, and you're going to be happy at certain times. When you go on vacation, you're happy. When at Christmas time, you're happy. You get presents. You're happy when you get a good meal. Something. Oh my gosh, this is a great meal. It makes me so happy. Eating something good. At least I do. I get all excited eating some good food. Happy is things that are happening in your life. But that won't sustain you. The happiness is not going to help you in life. Yeah, in moments. Yeah, I agree, in moments. But to me, I want you to have the joy. And that joy is knowing the Lord. Knowing how much He loves each one of us. That's where the joy. Once you understand that, that's the hardest thing to grasp. Like you're thinking, oh, if He only, no, God loves you. God loves you. And the joy is knowing that. And knowing Him through the things that you go through the day, that He's with you. That's where the joy comes from, knowing Him. All right? So just so understand that. If you want to leave this place today, I hope you realize one thing from my story, that to get the joy is knowing God, knowing who He is. And it's hard to say it in 40 minutes, whatever. I apologize, but I hope I did it justice. But again, that was only one moment in my life, the ups and downs. And guess what? They're going to continue. Same with you. It's going to continue, those ups and downs. All right? Learn how to ride those ups and downs. All right? And I hope you got something out of this. I hope when you leave that you make the choice of, you choose, and the only way you could choose is looking towards Him more and searching Him more. You'll find the joy in the rest of your life. All right? And then I liked what even Carl said last week. Carl talked about, each one of us has the Holy Spirit in us. And the Holy Spirit is God. And some people are waiting to go to heaven. I'm thinking, man, heaven's right here on earth. All right? You could enjoy heaven right now, just the way how you just change the way you're thinking. That's why, like Jeff talks about, the transformation of your mind. Just to understand the choice you make of who God is. I hope you understand that. The joy comes. Thank you for allowing me. Jeff, thanks for allowing me to share. I hope I didn't blow anybody out. But I want to pray with everybody. Lord, we just thank you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for the love. Thank you that you know each one of us and the joy that you give us in our daily lives, because we look towards you. Our minds are open towards you. Our hearts are open towards you, and realize you are the one that provides the joy in our life. You are the provider, and you just show how the grace and love for each one of us here today. And we just thank you that everybody could come together and share their stories. Please let them hear, people hear their stories to other people, because that's what makes church all so great. We love you and we thank you for that. We praise you. And it is a great day because the skies are blue and the birds are singing. And he knows each one of us by name. Amen.